Welcome back, or welcome to another video of me talking about CETL terms for the exam based on slideshows from Quizlet. Here we go. The cultural context of change. This goes beyond a generalized understanding of the environment to include underlying elements of the culture that can be expected to impact any attempts to change it. That is the cultural context of change. Strategic planning, which is number 2 in the 10 areas that CETLs need to know. This is the systematic process of translating the district's vision into specific goals and objectives and a sequence of steps required to achieve them. That is strategic planning. SWOT, S-W-O-T. This is a tool useful in the needs assessment process for identifying and analyzing internal strengths and weaknesses and external opportunities and threats for achieving a specific objective. That's SWOT, which again you can do with people or with systems. Baldrige. The Malcolm Baldrige criteria for performance excellence identify criteria reflecting best thinking on organizational practice and focus on a systematic process for helping organizations achieve systematic change. The education version of the criteria serves as a framework for understanding and improving school performance and for continuous improvement. That's Baldrige. Chart of accounts. It's a system of accounting records aligned to the district's business that includes ledger account names and accompanying numbers showing classifications and subclassifications. That's your chart of accounts. Alignment is, as defined by Baldrige, consistency of plans, processes, information, resource decisions, actions, results, and analyses to support key organization-wide goals. That is alignment. TCO, total cost of ownership. It's a balanced view of all the costs, both direct and indirect, required to support district technology. These include equipment and software, direct labor, and user overhead. That is your total cost of ownership, or TCO. VOI, value of investment, looks at anticipated costs and related benefits of specific proposed technology projects. It's your value of investment. CETL, or IT Infrastructure Library. It's the most widely accepted approach to IT service management in the world. That's CETL. System Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. That's the process of developing information systems through investigation, analysis, design, implementation, and maintenance. It represents a systems approach to problem solving. That is the SDLC, System Development Life Cycle. A metric is any type of measurement used to quantify results, measurements of process elements, such as inputs, activities, and outputs in relation to an explicit benchmark or specified level of performance. That is a metric. Disaster recovery. That's the ability of an organization to respond to a disaster or disruption by executing a disaster recovery plan to restore critical operations and services. That is disaster recovery. Risk assessment, it's part of project management as well, also part of CETL. It's the process of identifying and minimizing the exposure of the specific threats and related consequences to the organization, its people, its facilities, and its systems. That's risk assessment. Vital services, operations, and records. Those that are irreplaceable and or require the most immediate access and availability, as well as those that are critical for legal, regulatory, or operational reasons. That is vital services, operations, and records. So CIPA, C-I-P-A, that is the Children's Internet Protection Act, which is a law requiring that K through 12 schools and libraries in the U.S. that receive federal funds use internet filters and other measures to protect children from harmful online content, such as filters. Yay. That is CIPA. Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, which is FERPA. It's a federal law administered by the Family Policy Compliance Office in the U.S. Department of Education with the intent of protecting the rights of students and ensuring privacy and accuracy of education records. FERPA generally prohibits the improper disclosure of personally identifiable information derived from education records. So again, that's FERPA, Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. COPA is Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. That is also a federal law regarding the online collection of personal information from children under the age of 13. It details what must be included in a privacy policy, when and how to seek verifiable content from a parent or guardian, and what responsibilities an operator has to protect children's privacy and safety online, including restrictions on marketing to children under the age of 13. That is COPA. Policies are principles or rules intended to shape decisions and actions and that provide the framework for the functioning of the organization, are expressed in broad terms and answer what and why. So that's your policies. Procedures identify how the organization implements policies. They are expressed in specific behavioral or operational terms and answer how and who and when. That is procedures. EPEAT, E-P-E-A-T, EPEAT. This is the Electronic Product Environmental Assessment Tool, which is an easy-to-use online tool that provides a comprehensive environmental rating to help identify greener computers and other electronic equipment for your district and schools, which is part of the being good to your environment part of CETL. Universal design is the concept of designing and delivering mainstream products and services that are usable by people with the widest possible range of functional capabilities. That's universal design. Professional learning communities, or PLCs, broadly a forum of educators grouped or organized in some way. For example, job role or function, who are committed to working together to better their practice. For example, in Utah, there is one called TCC, which is the Utah Technology Coordinators Council. So all of the tech directors throughout the various districts in the state do meetings every 6 months and collaborate. So that would be a PLC, as a professional learning community. A flipped classroom. So this is a classroom in which more traditional teaching methods and the delivery of instruction happen outside the classroom and online, while traditional homework and delving into and applying concepts learned is moved into the classroom and facilitated by the teacher. That's a flipped classroom. Web 2.0. It's an online application that used the World Wide Web as a platform and allows for participatory involvement, collaboration, and interactions among users, characterized by the creation and sharing of intellectual and social resources by end users. That is Web 2.0. Cross-functional team. That's a group of employees from various functional areas of the district who are focused on a specific objective or task and who must work as a team to resolve issues and produce results. That is a cross-functional team. Quality tool is any print or electronic chart, software application, or technique that supports quality management efforts. Those are quality tools. Outsourcing. It's contracting to an individual or organization outside the district for any task, operation, job, or process that could be performed by a district employee. That is outsourcing. Virtualization. This refers to the creation of a virtual rather than an actual version of a device or resource. Such as a workstation, server, application, operating system, storage device, network, or entire data center could be virtualized. Cloud computing. Virtual servers on the internet that provide hosted services and applications and that allow for increased capacity and capabilities for shared on-demand computing resources delivered as free or pay-as-you-go services. Google, for example, their suite for education is definitely a cloud service, for sure. So, cloud computing. Business continuity planning, or BCP. It's the process of ensuring that all important operations, services, processes, and facilities continue to run in the event of a disaster, is your business continuity planning. Make sure business continues, right? Mitigation and prevention. Whoa, that one got really loud. Mitigation and prevention. Actions you take to identify preventable and unavoidable disasters and to address what can be done to eliminate or reduce the likelihood of a disaster and or accompanying risks. That's your mitigation and prevention. Redundancies are your backups. That one I like. Backups are redundancies. Incident Command Systems, or ICS. It's a standardized on-scene emergency management system designed to provide an integrated organizational structure that enables effective incident management. ICS is used by firefighters, emergency medical teams, and others. That's an ICS, by the way. Incident Command System. Emergency Operations Center, or your EOC. That would be the physical location identified for coordination of information and resources to support incident management activities, your Emergency Operations Center. VoIP, or VoIP, VoIP is an acronym for Voice over Internet Protocol. It's a digital telephone service that uses the internet and private backbones for delivery of voice communications and multimedia sessions without incurring fees charged by traditional telephone service. Not analog, it's digital. Like plugging your phone into an Ethernet cable is an example of VoIP. The phone has to be capable of it, of course. PSTN, it's an acronym for Public Switched Telephone Network, and sometimes also called POTS, which is a plain old telephone service. It's the Worldwide Public Voice Telephone Network. That doesn't get used a lot, so I don't know why it's in here, but whatever. Unified Communications, it's the convergence of all real-time and non-real-time communication services in an integrated set of products that provide a consistent user interface on multiple devices with various mediums. That is Unified Communications. Data-driven decision-making. It's a process of making choices based on appropriate analysis of relevant information. It is sometimes referred to as DDDM or D3M, which is cool. Great. Awesome. Data-driven decision-making. Knowledge management is the integration of data and information into the daily activities of decision makers. SCORM, or SCORM, is an acronym for Shareable Content Object Reference Model and is a set of technical standards and specifications for how web-based e-learning software should be built. That's your SCORM. Next up is SIF, S-I-F. And that's an acronym for Schools Interoperability Framework Software and is an open specification for K-12 institutions that enables diverse applications to interact and share data. SIF is very important these days. Identity management is an integrated system of business processes, policies, and technologies that enable organizations to facilitate and control their users' access to online applications and resources while protecting confidential personal and business information from unauthorized users. That is identity management. Prove who you are on the network, right? Identification is simply the process by which information about a person is gathered and used to provide some level of assurance that the person is who they claim to be. That's simple identification. Credential is an object that is verified when presented to a verifier in the authentication transaction, such as a paired user ID and password. That's a credential. Registration is also known as credentialing, the process whereby users are given electronic credentials, leveraging the identification process to ensure they are coupled with the correct electronic identity information. Again, that is registration. We got two more. Single sign-on, also known as SSO. Also known as SSO. Look at that. Allows users to log in once for access to multiple applications for a specific time period without having to re-log in each time. Very important in modern day systems to have single sign-on enabled. Federated Identity and Access Management provides a safe... I'm getting my mouth. It's tired. provides, man, let's just go all the way back. Okay. Federated Identity and Access Management provides a sophisticated yet simple infrastructure for managing a person's multiple logins to access local and remote sources. It streamlines the administration of online resources for authenticated authorized users. That is your Federal Identity and Access Management. I don't believe they call that FIAM. That's just something to know. And that is all for this video. I hope that it is helpful. That is the goal. Good luck.